Hi, it's Caitlin from Caitlin Swatches, and I'm here today with my April polish pickup swatch video. The theme for April's polish pickup is flowers, or maybe it's in bloom, but anyway, it has to do with flowers, and I just love flowers. I love looking at them. They make me super happy. This theme is fantastic, and all of the makers brought their A game, as they always do, and everything you're seeing in this video will be exclusive to the polish pickup, and you can purchase the polishes from April 7th through the 10th. I will link the polish pickup shop down in the description below, and I will also have the prices for each of the products I show you, and if there is a cap on how many will be available, or if there will be an unlimited number for you to purchase. I've got a lot of pretty stuff to show you, so let's get into it. First up, we have Clionadh Cosmetics, and this one's called Celosia. This polish is described as a pink linear holographic with pink to red to orange to yellow shifting shimmer. So this one will be $13 with no cap, and as you can see, it goes on quite sheer on the first coat, but trust me, it will build up nicely. And this one does have a really strong linear holographic effect, and the shimmer is also quite visible on the nail, which is always fantastic to see in a polish. So this one on the second coat is pretty much opaque. I mean, obviously I don't have much of a visible nail line, but I think it's going to cover for most people in 2 coats. And as with all linear holographics, they do dry down a bit dull, so you want a good glossy top coat that works well with linear holos, such as Cuticula's Limitless Top Coat. That won't dull the holographic effect, it will just enhance it. So I love Clionadh Cosmetics. Every month they're doing such an amazing job, and as a pink lover, I definitely love this polish. It's Caitlin Swatches pink approved, and as you're going to see in a second, the shimmer in this one is also just a really nice complement. So here I used my camera flash because there wasn't any sun to show off the polish, but you can sort of see that orangey golden yellow shift at the extreme angles, and hopefully you can see all of those beautiful rainbows. And here it is without any flash or sunlight, just the swatching lights that I use. You can definitely see the orange shift there, and it's just a really beautiful pink holo. Next up, we have Great Lakes Lacquer Caw Like a Wind, and this one is inspired by the field of roses that surround the Dark Tower in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. So this one's a black cherry base that shows off shifts of green, blue, and purple. And this polish is so incredibly shifty, as you're going to see. It has a really beautiful formula. It's just like a super easy to work with application. The Great Lakes Lacquer brush is really nice and thin and flat. And to me, I was happy with this in 2 coats. I'm sure some people might want 3, but there's honestly so much shimmer particle going on that you wouldn't be able to see your nail underneath it anyway. So here it is in 2 coats, and I will definitely recommend top coat just to bring that shine out and make it as glossy as possible. It also just brings the shimmer to life when you add a glossy top coat. So here it is with the top coat, and you can see already how beautifully shifty the shimmer is, but it really comes to life when I move my hand around here, as you're seeing. So this has an electric shimmer to it. It is absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with all of the shifts in this polish, and I think that Great Lakes Lacquer just really brought it home with this one. They did an incredible job, and I love this polish to the moon and back. Here we have Sassy Sauce. This one's called Iris You Were Here. And this one is a magenta rose thermal with a strong blue to violet glow and similar shifting ghost flakes when cold that fade away when warm, and it leaves a glowy blue-violet shimmer behind. And this one's obviously inspired by Iris, which is a beautiful flower. And this polish also has a fantastic formula. This one applies really beautifully and easily. I am obsessed with the color of this one. I'm obsessed with the flakes in there. And spoiler, this is one of my favorites for the month. So I definitely recommend picking it up because there are only 400 bottles available. So get there early on Friday and grab yourself a bottle. This one is beautiful in 2 coats. I was happy with how it looked in 2, and I will definitely recommend a glossy top coat because thermals tend to dry down a bit dull. So here it is. This is it when it's warm. So I was swatching it, my hands were cold, but this is what it's going to look if you have hot hands or are somewhere warm. And I tried to do a little bit of both. So my first 2 fingers are warm and the other ones are colder, and you can just see how beautiful this polish is. I love that blue shimmer. It's probably my favorite kind of shimmer, and I love the flakes in there. It really complements everything, and there's nothing more to say except I love it. Next up is Bee's Knees Lacquer Belladonna Berries, and this one is inspired by the book Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and the polish itself is described as a deep turquoise with purple to green multi-chrome shimmer, and this one has a beautiful formula as to be expected with Bee's Knees Lacquer. Also love the Bee's Knees Lacquer brush. It's really nice and thin in the same way that the Great Lakes Lacquer is. And this goes on really nicely. I will recommend building it up in 2 to 3 coats, depending on your application style. But I think most people will probably be happiest with this in 3 because the depth of the color really comes from building it up. As you can see, it does look good here in 2, but it's just not as deep and rich as it was in the bottle. So I felt like adding a 3rd coat to just add that depth and give it that like super inky, deep blue look to it. And this one is also going to be super shifty, as you will see very shortly. So this does dry down quite glossy, as you can probably tell, but I still recommend top coat just because why not? And I absolutely love this one. I love the color of it, and I love the color shifts in the polish. I just think everything about it is absolutely beautiful, and who doesn't love Bee's Knees Lacquer? So here it is with the top coat, and here it is. You can really see all of those color shifts. There's definitely the gold there, the green, blue, like there's so much going on in this one, and it's just such a beautiful polish. So once again, Bee's Knees Lacquer is creating stunning nail polishes for us, and we are very grateful for it because, come on, it's beautiful. Here we have Girly Bits Snowdrop, and this one is a smoky slate blue with orange to gold shimmer and hollow flakes. And if you're wondering why there's kind of random pauses throughout this video, it's because I'm sort of losing my voice and trying to cough in between filming this. So this polish is really beautiful, and it definitely has a sheerer base to it, but it builds up really nicely, and it's sort of this interesting greeny gray, and the shimmer complements it so perfectly. So I would recommend 3 coats, though you could probably get away with 2. I just felt like outside of my video lighting, I saw my nail line, so I wanted to do a 3rd coat. So this one does dry down a tiny bit dull, and I will recommend a glossy top coat just to bring back the shine. And this one is just so pretty with the hollow and the shimmer, and the base color is super unique. So for anyone who likes greens or grays, then I think this one would be your cup of tea. And this one does have a pretty low cap of 300 bottles. So grab it early if you are interested in it. And here it is. It looks beautiful in overcast lighting. That shimmer is super, super strong. The shifts are really visible and prominent, and everything just works super well together. Here we have Polished for Days, and this one is called In Bloom. And this polish is described as a bright pink base with orange to yellow to gold shifting iridescent shimmer. And this one is inspired by Great Silence dahlias, which I'm assuming is a variety of dahlia. And this polish is so, so pretty. It really, to me, complements the Cloud9 collection that Polished for Days just put out. This one feels like a continuation of that collection in some way. And I absolutely love pink, obviously, but the particular shade of pink with the shimmer works so well here, and it kind of gives like almost neon effect. It's super, super bright on your nails, and it's just beautiful. So I think it looks really good in 2 coats. I don't think many people would need 3 because it covers really well in 2, but it does dry down dull just because there's so much shimmer in there. So I recommend a glossy top coat, and it'll be looking beautiful and shimmery like this. And here you can see just how shifty the polish is. It definitely looks orange in some lighting, it looks peachy in others, and then it looks pink and even other lighting. So lots of faces to this one, and it shifts really visibly and beautifully, and I can't wait to be wearing this into the summer months. So here we have Cuticula Best Buds, and this one is a pink polish that leans red with yellow to gold, orange to gold, purple to red glass flakes, and matte black flakes. So this one is definitely a very jelly base, and it's sheer, but it builds up really, really beautifully with all of the flakes that are in there, as you're going to see. It has a really good formula, super easy to work with. And this one does have a bit of texture, but using their Cuticula Limitless Top Coat took care of any texture that I experienced. And this one is just super fun and bright. I absolutely love those pinks that kind of verge on orange or red. I just think that they're really flattering and pretty. So I was happy with this one in 2 coats, but you might want to build it up in 3, though as you can see, the coverage was really impressive in 2. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll definitely want top coat for this one. This would also look fantastic matte, but at the end of the day, I do like glossy nails, so that's always my preference. And here you can see the shift in the flakes and just how beautifully it plays with the base color. I think it's a really nice pairing and I love it, just as I love all of my Cuticula polishes. Moving along, we have Bluebird Lacquer Yes We Columbine shipping. And this polish is inspired by the Rocky Mountain Columbine, which is a state flower for Lou's home state of Colorado. And this polish is a magnetic, as you can see. So it has a purple to pink to gold shifting sparkly shimmery base with a beautiful light blue magnetic effect. And this one also has a cap. It's capped at 400. So if you love this as much as I do, then get there early when the shop opens so you don't miss this one. And as you can see, I applied a coat, then I applied another coat, magnetized it, applied another coat and magnetized that as you're seeing, and try to hold the magnet on your nail as long as possible. But this one, some magnetic polishes don't pull a strong magnetic line regardless of what magnet you use, but this one pulled a really strong line really easily regardless of whatever magnet I was using. So it's really well formulated, and as you can see, the contrast of that pink and the blue is just stunning. So the other really cool thing about this polish that you're going to see hopefully when I show you my nails is that it truly has a rainbow effect. Like the shimmer flakes kind of look green and yellow and gold and orange at certain angles. So you're getting like every color of the rainbow in this polish. And so I am applying top coat and I'm magnetizing the line after I apply top coat just to make sure it stays nice and tight. I kind of like that effect, but some people like a different magnetic effect. So do what you want, but this is how I apply it to get this kind of look. And here we have the beautiful array of colors that I was mentioning. Hopefully you can see what I mean. There's like green, there's gold, there's red, there's pink. There's so many colors going on, and that magnetic effect is really interesting. It kind of looks like fog or clouds. It's just totally beautiful. So I'm going to go cough and drink some water, and you can watch me move my fingers around. And here we have Rogue Lacquer. This one is inspired by beautiful sunflowers, which I just love them as a symbol of hope. And, you know, that quote about sunflowers facing towards the sun. I think that's what sunflowers do. They like sort of move themselves to face the sun. So that's kind of what I do as a human being. So I really like sunflowers, and I really like this polish. It's called Here Comes the Sun, and it has orange to gold to mustard glass flake with gold and black metallic flakes. And this one has a really good formula. As always, Rogue Lacquer just really knows how to make these flake bombs. They do such a good job with them, and this one builds up really easily and nicely in 2 coats. So depending on your style, you might even want to use this as a topper. If you use it with a light hand, you could apply it over anything and it would look really good. This one is just really pretty. And because it is so packed with flakes, it will have texture, but it won't be difficult to remove, and one layer of top coat will remove the texture. So Here I'm applying Cuticula Limitless Top Coat, which is my favorite, and I'm pretty sure it's also available in some sort of delicious scent this month. And here it is in 2 coats plus top coat. These flakes are super shifty, and something about this polish just reminds me of the Leo sign in astrology. I don't know why, but maybe it just makes me think of a lion in addition to a sunflower. It's just very golden and flashy and pretty. Moving along again, we have It Pretty Polish Lupine, and this one is inspired by a lupin, which is a flower, and maybe that's not how you say it, but that's how I've always heard it pronounced. And this one is a pink, purple, gold, green multi-chrome, and it is really pretty and really shifty and definitely captures the essence of lupins, which I love as a flower, and I included a little footage of lupins that I saw on a trip I took last summer. So this polish builds up really nicely. It is on the sheer side, but it builds up in 3 coats. I recommend building it up in 3 coats just because I feel like it didn't have the intensity I wanted after 2, but you could always layer this over a purple or a black and you'd get a totally different effect. But on its own, I recommend 3 coats of the polish and top coat because it does dry down a little bit on the flat side. And this is a really interesting polish too because it kind of looks like gray at certain angles, but it also looks purple, and then you get the green and the gold. So there's a lot going on in this one, and I can't wait to show it off for you. But as you can see, it definitely darkened up and deepened in 3 coats. And then when you apply the top coat, obviously it's just going to make it glossy and shiny, but I feel like I never matte multi-chromes, but this one I think would look really good matte. So here it is in 3 coats plus top coat. You can see what I mean about all the color shifts. This one is fascinating and kind of unexpected. It's like kind of subtle on your nails, but then bam, it's got like all of these different color shifts to it. So it's definitely a beautiful polish, and this one has a pretty low cap. There's only 160 available, so if you want it, grab it early on Friday. And thankfully the sun showed up for a little bit, so you can see how this looks in the sun. And here are some lupins in the wild. They're such a beautiful flower, and honestly, I'm obsessed with them. Here they are by the ocean. And moving along again, we have Glisten and Glow. This one is called Irises from Anne. And this one is a light green crelly with various shapes and sizes and finishes of purple glitters. And the inspiration for this one is Jill's mom, Anne, who absolutely loves irises. She tends to her beautiful crescent-shaped garden filled with them daily in season, and she thins the irises every 3 years and gives them to neighbors, friends, and family to share her love of irises with them, which is honestly so beautiful, and we need more people like Anne sharing flowers with the world. So this polish is fantastic. It has a really good formula. It's really easy to apply and use, and it's surprisingly opaque in 2 coats. I really love the contrast of the base color and the glitters. It works really well. And because this one is acrylic, it will obviously have quite a bit of texture when it dries down. So Glisten and Glow is also offering their top coat, but in order to get the smoothest possible finish, I recommend using the Glisten and Glow Glitter Grabber Top Coat, which is often available in the polish pickup, or if not, you can get it in the Glisten and Glow shop on their website at any time. So you apply the glitter grabber, let it dry for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can go in with the Glisten and Glow Top Coat, which is available this month in the polish pickup. And as you can see, the glitter grabber gave a pretty smooth base, and then the top coat gives a really beautiful, long-lasting, shiny, plumping effect. And as you can see, with all the top coat on, this is a really gorgeous polish, and I just love everything about it. It makes me think of springtime, and it just makes me really happy. And last but certainly not least, we have Femme Fatale Cosmetics Day and Nightshade. And this one is a deep velvety blackened blue jelly base. It's slightly sheer but gives way to an enchanting shifting green that flips from purple to pink to gold to green. And within you will find lustrous pink, red, and copper iridescent flakes and scattered teal glitters. So this polish is super unique. I love the combination of everything in here. It's just totally unexpected and really works beautifully. This polish just excited me a lot when I was applying it. So as you can see, it definitely is sheer, and I will recommend building it up in 3 coats just to get it as rich and deep as you see in the bottle. But those glitters come out really easily. I didn't really have to fish around for them, and everything will smooth out with top coat. But what really excited me most about this were those iridescent flakes. They're really tiny and just make this polish go to a whole new level with it. It's just so pretty. So as you can see, it definitely looks complete once you apply that 3rd coat. And in order to get the smoothest possible finish, I will recommend using something like the Glisten and Glow Glitter Grabber. So apply 1 coat of that to each of your nails, let it dry for 5 to 10 minutes. And then that will provide you with a really smooth base to apply your regular quick dry top coat, and then you'll have a glossy, glassy, almost gel-like finish to your nails. So I'm applying Cuticula Limitless now, which is a quick dry top coat, and hopefully you can see what I mean about how everything looks so smooth and glossy after you use the glitter grabber. It's just such a good product. It honestly makes my nails look like they have a gel manicure, and that's what I absolutely love, having with the shiniest nails possible. So here's this polish in the sun, and this is what I'm talking about. Look at those color shifts. I wasn't expecting it to have really intense, beautiful shimmer like this, but sure enough, it did. And just with those glitters and the iridescent flakes and the shimmer, it was totally unexpected and absolutely gorgeous. It honestly gives me more of an aquatic vibe than floral, but I love everything about it, and hopefully you do too. My very, very, very most favorite polish out of all the ones that I swatched for you is the Sassy sauce. That one, oh my goodness, that's my favorite kind of nail polish. I think it is beyond gorgeous. I love both of the states of the thermal, and I love everything about it. It's just perfect. So please don't miss that. And I also love the Great Lakes Lacquer because I think I've realized that purple is probably my favorite nail polish color at the end of the day. And that one is glowy beyond glowy, and it's perfection. So let me know in the comments if there are any polishes in my video that will be making it into your shopping cart. Let me know any other polishes that you're planning on picking up. I personally haven't checked out all of the other offerings for this month, but I'm sure there are going to be some other polishes that I need that I didn't have in this video. So let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!